So before getting into the topic, I want to show you all this since many of you kept asking for my paperback copy of my book. So now it is finally available. So Stewocracy, the system that lets life live, written by Sayuvarity. So now it is available in my website. So you can get both ebook and also ebook copy, and also as a paperback copy you can get this book. So to know how the Stewocratic system functions on whole, this is a complete blueprint of the Stewocratic system. Since many of you had questions like how this is going to filter the candidates, how it is possible to go for elections without political campaigning, without political party formation, like that. So for all the questions you can find answer in my Stewocracy book. So this is an absolute blueprint for the Stewocratic system. Okay, so now it is available as both as ebook and also paperback copy in my website, and I will give you the link for the book below the video. You can check in the description. We have totally 27 chapters for Stewocracy to explain Stewocratic system. Since it is a huge system, anyways we are going to discuss it through video, but it is going to take a lot amount of time, and through video we will be discussing each topic in more detailed form. So to know how the Stewocracy is going to function, you have to get the blueprint. This book is the blueprint for Stewocratic system. So anyways, getting back to the topic. So as you all know, Stewocracy system, how it functions, no one can just like that become a political candidate in Stewocracy system. Even in order to become a political candidate, you have to go through the 5-chamber filtering system. Only if you get approved by the 5-chamber filter system, by all the 5 chambers, then only you can stand in the election as a political candidate, then only you can compete in the election, then face the citizens, and if you get the majority of the support from the citizens, then only you will be becoming a political candidate. Then only the election will happen. Then if you get a lot of support from the citizens and if you get the majority, then you will be announced as a steward, not the leader. So in my previous video we have discussed about the first chamber called foundational chamber, which is the first chamber among those 5-chamber filtering system. In my previous video we have discussed about land. In that land category we have discussed about the deforestation and what democracy did to the forest. We have discussed about all those things. So if you haven't watched that video, so go and check it out, and it is a very informative video and you will get a lot of information from it. So now let's get back to the topic. Okay, now let's imagine your house is literally built on treasure chest on earth. Okay, your house floor is completely filled with, made up of gold and diamonds and precious resources and minerals, and even your walls is made up of enormous amount of rich minerals. So now what happens is that the one who's guarding your house outside is literally getting the bribe amount from your neighboring houses, and now that person is literally letting every neighbors inside your house to dig out all the minerals and resources, gold, diamonds you have beneath your floor and around your walls, to steal away all those resources from your house to their house. Okay, now the one who's guarding your house is literally letting the aggressive neighbors and corporate bullies, everyone, to get into your house and steal away your resources from your hands. Okay, not only that, they are also dumping all the toxic waste inside your house, and they didn't only stop with that, they push your children into the dark corner of the earth and mining corners to dig out all the precious minerals of your house. They are using your children to do that high risk job with bare hands, with no protection. Now your house is the reason behind many houses glittering and shining, and many people are enjoying their lifestyle, luxurious lifestyle. Meanwhile, your house and your life is literally pushed into the darkness. How will you deal with this? So will you be fine with that? Not only you, but also your country's resources, your house's resources is the reason behind why your neighboring houses are shining and glittering and they are leading a luxurious life. But meanwhile, your life is completely pushed into the darkness. Meanwhile, you don't even have the access to basic electricity, food, water, basic human needs. Now everything is being stolen from your hand. In return, your house is being dumped with toxic waste. Your children are pushed into the dark corners to work for low wages. So if this is what your neighbors are doing to you, what will be your reaction? This is not some random fiction or like imaginary story. Okay, this is what really happening in DRC, Congo. This is what going to happen to you. So watch this entire video, we will discuss about this in detail. Stewocracy system is a 5 filtering chamber system. Even in order to become a political candidate in Stewocratic system, you have to pass through these 5 filtering chambers and you have to get approved by all those 5 filtering chamber. Only then you will be selected as a political candidate, then only you will get to face the election, okay? So in that first comes the foundational chamber, in which has land, air, water and soil, all those categories. So under this land integrity category comes this deforestation, land exploitation and few more. In my previous video we have discussed about deforestation. In this video we're going to discuss about the land exploitation, okay? So that is what, in order to understand this Stewocracy as a whole blueprint, you need this book. This is the blueprint of the Stewocratic system. Okay, wait, I'll show you. Chapter 9, under page number 150, you have this explanation, you see? So under this land integrity, we have multiple subcategories which we are going to evaluate, okay? First comes deforestation, then comes illegal land exploitation, then comes the habitat fragmentation, then comes all these other things. So in this video, we're going to discuss about land exploitation, fine? So now it won't feel like we are getting into a maze. You have the idea, right? What we are going to discuss about. So I'll write it here. So in order to know why land exploitation should bother every one of us, because look at the condition of the Africa. Africa is the richest whole earth, because almost 30% of the world's reserves, mineral resource, almost 30% of the world's mineral resource, including gold and diamond, all those things are coming from Africa, or in Africa, okay? And cobalt. So almost 30% of the world's mineral reserves are in Africa, okay? And not only that, Africa has the 65% of the world's farmable land, apart from these things, okay? So Africa almost has 30% of the world's mineral reserves, including gold, diamond and cobalt and coltan and much more things. And apart from that, almost 65% of the African's land is arable, is farmable. So it is not Europe, it is not Asia, America, it is Africa. It is the richest continent in the whole earth. But yet, what is the condition of the Africa? So compared to other African countries, Congo has the highest amount of resource in Africa. Congo has almost worth of $24 trillion reserves in it. That it is an untapped raw mineral reserves. Has a mineral deposit worth of almost $24 trillion, which is equal to annual GDP of US, which is equal to the entire annual GDP of US. Has this much amount of that to untapped raw mineral deposit in its land, yet condition of the Congo is the worst condition ever possible. A whole 70% of the world's cobalt. Without cobalt, no electric gadget is possible, no electric vehicle is possible, no smartphone is possible, no laptop is possible, no tablet is possible, no modern gadgets today that we have in our hands today is possible without cobalt. Cobalt is a high energy resistant element which is highly used in the lithium ion batteries, which is highly seen in the electrical vehicles, used to make the microchips. Cobalt in our mobile phones, in our gadgets, in our electrical vehicles is what keeping our gadgets safe and stable from catching the heat and from catching fire. And also this is what allows our electronic device to hold and store power in it. Because of the cobalt, we are able to store power in our mobile phones, in our electrical vehicles. So that is the importance of cobalt. So that 70% of the world's cobalt is in DRC. And not only that, Congo holds almost 60% of the world's coltan. This coltan is what acts as like, miniature dam. It literally regulates and controls the flow of energy inside the device. It literally controls and regulates the amount of energy flow inside the gadget. So it prevents the device getting fired up, and also it acts as a dam, regulates the amount of energy flow into the device, okay? And this coltan is not single element, it is actually a combination of two, tantalum and niobium. Once it got mined from the land, it goes into the processing, and in the industries it gets separated as tantalum and niobium. So it is a combination of these two things. This tantalum is what used in these kind of factors. Like I told you, this tantalum is what acts like it is tantalum capacitor. You could have heard about this tantalum capacitors. This tantalum capacitors is what acts like a mini dam, like I told you before. This tantalum is what regulates and stores the electricity flow in your electric devices, in your gadgets, in your laptop, in your mobile phones, okay? This niobium is used to strengthen the steel for the sake of pipelines, for the sake of making MRI magnets, okay? So this is how it is used. So why I am explaining all these things, why I am getting into the chemistry is that To understand about these element importance, we have to look into how it is being used, in the manufacturing hubs. Okay, so that is why I entered into the chemistry. So today's modern gadgets, devices that we have in our hands, and electrical vehicles that we use day to day life, impossible without cobalt and coltan. So which means it is impossible without Congo, because Congo is what holds 70% of the world's cobalt and 60% of the world's coltan. Africa is the richest continent in the whole earth, not the Europe, not Asia, not America. It is Africa. So in that Africa, Congo plays a very important role. Okay, Congo has also enormous amount of copper and diamond. So in the whole African continent, Congo is the highest producer of copper. Okay, and also not only that, it has high industrial grade gold. Congo is the largest producer of copper in the whole African continent. Okay, not only that, they also have enormous amount of diamonds in their land, and apart from this, they also have high industrial grade gold in their land. Also, they have lithium in their land. Apart from having all these things, why is the condition of Congo is too worse? 67 to 81% of the Congolese people are living in extreme poverty. Imagine having this much amount of reserves in your own house, but you live in extreme poverty. You don't even get to have a good food, good water. How cruel it is. That is the exact condition of the Congolese people right now. So almost 67 to 81% of the Congolese people are not just living in poverty, under extreme poverty. They are surviving on less than $2 to $3 a day, because the corporate syndicates and the government is literally snatching away their resources from their hands, and that too, they are using the Congolese people as slave to take away all those resources from their own land. In return, they are not even paying them back properly. You are working as a slave in order to scoop out all the resources you have in your own home and to give it to your neighbors. According to World Bank data, almost 67 to 81% of the Congolese people are living in a poverty, not just a normal poverty, extreme poverty. To work under the unregulated mining sectors, which is often we call it as artisanal mining. Okay, they are pushed to work under the scorching sun and that heat, and giving their own land minerals, which is worth of trillions of dollars, just to get paid back in return as $1. $2. Well, almost estimated that almost 40,000 children are working in these kind of coltan and cobalt mines, risking their own life because they don't have the money to go to schools. These Congolese children are literally acting as a human filters and crawling under these kind of toxic mines, which are highly prone to collapse and bury them alive at any time, washing the toxic ores in the rivers. Almost 80% of the Congolese people don't have the access to electricity. They have the Congo River, which has the highest potential to give hydroelectric power. With that power, it has the high amount of potential to supply power to the entire Africa through the Inga Dams project. So, despite having such Congo River, which has such kind of highest hydroelectric potential to supply power to this entire African continent, 80% of the Congolese people don't even have the proper access to electricity. And in the rural places, it gets who is actually getting benefited from the Congolese wealth? Who is actually behind this Congo cruelty? Let's have a close look at it. First, King Leopold II of Belgium, he is actually the main reason behind this Congo cruelty. In the 19th century, when he came into the Congo, he conquered the Congo and he literally enslaved all these Congolese people and he made them work as a slave in order to harvest the rubber of Congo. And in return, he almost killed 10 million Congolese people. So by 1960, when they left Congo, they on purpose left Congo with broken economy. So broken political structure. While they left, they only left fewer than 30 universities in Congo on purpose so that they can keep the Congo as slave forever, to keep Congolese as slave to them forever and to extract all the resources of this Congo people. Strategically left broken on purpose while they exited the land. The second reason behind this is internal culprit. So the second reason behind this is internal culprits, politicians, their local elites, and the militias groups. Like I told you, M23 militia group, they call themselves as a rebel group of Congo, but in fact they are the ones who is pushing the local people, and they are holding these Congo people at gunpoint in order to make them and force them to work under these artisanal mining fields so that they can extract all the resources and then sell it to Rwanda and Uganda. And then in Rwanda and Uganda, it gets relabeled as the pure resource, and it is a legal resource, though it gone there through the smuggling routes. So in order to sell to other countries, they have to do the laundering work, right? So that is what they do is then they rename the product. They rename it like as if it is originated from their own country. Though Rwanda and Uganda don't have much amount of resources as Congo, but they are still doing it because they want to. Then only they can sell it to other countries. To West or Asia. Though Western Asia do know all these reserves are coming from the Congo, just for the sake of paperwork, they still do it. So these people are the ones who's enabling it. So I will tag them as enablers. Okay. One who laid out the blueprint, and the enablers are the internal culprits, the politicians and the militias and the local rebel groups. They are the ones who's enabling it, and local elite people of the Congo are the internal culprits, and they are the reason why it is still happening every day. So third main reason behind this is corporate syndicates, corporate chains, like companies like Tesla, Apple, Dell, and what else? And much more tech brands, okay, and much more tech brands and electrical vehicle brands. They are all depending upon the Congo for cobalt, for coltan, and much more things. So these corporate chains are highly behind this. In fact, Congolese families who lost their children for this cruelty, they have appealed lawsuits against these kind of companies like Tesla, Apple, and all those things. But they were able to get rid of and able to brush it off but they managed to escape by shielding themselves behind the third-party suppliers. They said like, okay, how can we take responsibility for something that is reaching to us from the third-party supply chains? We don't know about all those things. So that's how they got escaped from all those lawsuit appeals. So that's why it is not something happening without the knowledge of the law. It is not something happening without the knowledge of the big corporate chains. In fact, they are the ones who do know. In fact, they are the ones who are supporting it in order to reduce their cost of production. That is how they act. So all these things are master planned strategy, so that they can reduce the cost of production. Because imagine if they have to pay for these kind of Congolese workers and for stealing their resources, the amount of money they have to spend is too much. Okay, so in order to get rid of it, they all act like, okay, I'm just getting it from the third-party supplier, like that. And now, who is the third-party supplier? We have to understand about that. These corporate chains are obviously the reason behind the Congo cruelty. So who is the main culprit behind this cruelty is? So who is the main culprit behind this cruelty is China. So that is why I say modern technology is possible without China, but it is impossible without Congo, without Africa. That is it. That's it. Modern technology that we have today is possible without China, but it is impossible without Africa, because 70% of Congolese cobalt goes to China. Chinese state-backed companies and private mining sectors are the one who's getting benefited out of it, because they are the ones who's getting the 70% of the Congo's cobalt, and with that they are making the infrastructure. With that they are doing the processing work, refining work, and all those work they are doing and making it as a product, and they are supplying it to companies like Tesla, Apple, and to other companies, and to Dell company, and to much more companies. So they are the ones who's utilizing the raw products. Chinese state-backed sectors and private mining sectors are entirely depending upon the Congolese cobalt and other reserves of them for their infrastructure, for their technology advancement. With that, they are able to produce a lot of materials, and that is what they are supplying to other companies like big companies, Tesla, Apple, and Dell. And not only that, with that, using that resource only, they are able to produce lot of products, lot of gadgets, lot of technology advancement, this and that. That is why we are able to get Chinese product at affordable cost, at cheap cost. You get this reason? So that is the reason why we are able to access the Chinese products or Chinese advancement technologies, everything at low cost. Why? It is not that they have all the reserves. They are actually getting it from the Congo, and in return what they are giving the Congolese people is trauma. It is low, very low wages and lot of diseases, and they are not even making sure these Congolese people have the proper safety measures while they are working. So China is a main reason behind the Congo cruelty, because 70% of the cobalt they are getting is from the Congo, and they do all know how it is working. China is the one who converts all these raw dust and raw mineral ores into consumable products, and they sell it to Tesla and they sell it to consumers, or like they itself produce materials and other the gadgets using it. And that is why China is able to sell products at low cost. Just a low, tiny amount of wages, tiny amount of money to these internal culprits, because they are the ones who's enabling it and who's letting all these other foreign giant companies, foreign corporate bullies to get in and take away their reserves. So this is how it is happening. So this is how China is able to produce lot of products and give lot of products at low cost. And this is how China is being a supplier to multi-billion-dollar companies. And another reason behind the Congo cruelty is consumers. Now is ready to pay the money and get the gadgets. So that is why we are indirectly being a main reason for the Congo cruelty, and mainly the primary consumers of like Europe and Japan, South Korea, and US. Obviously, everyone is being a consumer. A country so rich, it is literally sitting on the gold and diamonds and cobalt and coltan, but they don't even have the access to next food. They don't even have the access to clean water or electricity. How cruel it is. So that is why I say technology that we have today is possible without China, is possible without America, but it is impossible without Congo. It is impossible without Africa. The thing is that they should pay them back the wages that they are all draining from Congo for. So the minimum thing is that at least for all the corruption, for all the digging they are doing in the land of the Congo, and for risking the life of the Congolese people, they should, the very minimal thing that any corporate or any individual, any politician should pay them back is the money, is the wages. As of the 2026, how the world is functioning, this is a basic bare minimum thing that they should do. But bare minimum, I would say. It is not something, it is what you should do. Actually, that is a bare minimum thing. That is why I say any development shouldn't come at the cost of destroying your resource, destroying your ecosystem, destroying your land, exploiting your land. So that is the thing Stewocracy speaks about. That is the thing Stewocracy highlights about. Just look at this. A system that fails the ecosystem ultimately fails itself. That's it. This is simple. That is why any development shouldn't come at the cost of destroying your reserves, exploiting your land, deforestation. No amount of technology is needed. No amount of, advancement is needed if it is coming at the cost of destroying your ecosystem, destroying your land, destroying your forest. Because today it might look, okay, we are all happy butterflies today. But tomorrow, you're the one who is going to pay the price, because someday, thing like Belgium or the internal culprits like these politicians or the countries like China will crawl in and take advantage of you, and they will erode your resources away from you, and they will destroy your peace. So that is why we shouldn't give importance to the anthropocentrism. That is the whole point here. If you put human beings on the pedestal, obviously you're not going to give care about all the resources around you, because your mind will only think about the printed currency and this and that and the reserves. But you won't think it in such a way. It is your resource. It is going away from your country. In return, you're getting nothing in return except the disease, except the trauma, except the slavery, right? So that is what Stewocracy speaks about. Because democracy is an anthropocentric system. Stewocracy is a meritocratic ecocentric system. Stewocracy is what literally says, if any development comes at the cost of taking away my natural resource from my country, I don't need the development. You got this. Because such kind of development might save your time, but it will take away your peace. So that is the core ideology for building this democratic system. It is a meritocratic, ecocentric system. For example, look at Congo. Congo is a democratic country. That's how they call it. Even the name says Democratic Republic of the Congo, like that. That's how they say. But the recent election which happened in the 2023, happened in such a way, the toll booth in a lot of places didn't work properly. The ballot system didn't work properly. The worst thing is millions of Congo citizens are banned from voting. So this is how the democracy is functioning. This is what happens when you put democracy on the pedestal. Or autocracy on the pedestal, dictatorship on the pedestal, monarchy on the pedestal. Because we can't say dictatorship is going to solve all the problems. How the hell the dictatorship will solve all the problem? How the hell dictatorship will solve the problem? Anything but not ecocentrism? This is a question I ask. Anything, monarchy, dictatorship, we are ready to go for any other alternative, but except ecocentrism. I don't get the point why. Because if corporate is going for such option, it makes sound, okay, they are the ones who's getting benefited out of all these corrupted system. But I don't know why citizens, as normal citizens, we are all fine with the democracy. We are all fine with the autocracy. We are all fine with the dictatorship. We are all fine with the monarchy. We shouldn't be fine with all the systems. Stewocracy is a system which will protect you from these, toxic politicians, from these corporate toxic giants, syndicates. That is what stewocracy will protect you from. But meanwhile, if stewocracy comes into practice, every other citizens should rely upon the self-reliant life, should go for the self-reliant life, shouldn't depend upon the corporates, shouldn't depend upon the government. Got it? Stewocracy is a system built to protect you from these kind of toxic political system, the corporate syndicates, from the corporate giants. But after that, that is the role of stewocracy. Stewocracy will protect your ecosystem from stopping the government, from stopping the politician, from stopping these kind of toxic corporates from getting in. But even after that, we all citizens should switch into self-reliant life. Because self-reliant life is what will protect you from any kind of harm. Because today, even Congolese people think to do the agriculture, they are not able to do it because they are held at gunpoint at any point. They are forced to move away from their own land. They are hiding inside the forest. So it became, so difficult for them to do the agriculture. Even besides all these things, they even don't have the money to buy the grains, to buy the seeds, to set the irrigation system properly. Even if they choose to go for the manual old system kind of agricultural pattern, just look at this. They have to cross almost miles to get even the contaminated water, to get the access of the contaminated water. Then how it is possible for them to do the agriculture? And also they don't have the roads to, transport the crops or the vegetables that they produced. And it has the high risk of getting spoiled. How it is possible? Don't be like, okay, it is just happening in the Congo, what it has to do with me? My question is, if this is the condition of the richest country, what is the condition of your country? Are you rich as Congo? Don't be like it is something happening in the Congo, it is something happening in the Nigeria, it is something happening in the Venezuela. Don't be like that. Because these countries are resource-filled country. They are all the richest country. Venezuela is literally sitting on the gold. That country is literally sitting on the gold and oil. What happened to Venezuela? This is the thing will happen. This is the thing will happen if we don't voice out against these systems. Standing together is what going to bring the solution. Not just going for some blood and war kind of stuff. Stand unite, stay aware. By only that we can resist all these kind of toxic systems and these corporate syndicates. Only then we will be able to establish the stewocracy. If not, stewocracy is impossible. If not, then we have to keep suffering under these kind of toxic systems. Don't be like it is something deforestation. Animals are the ones who's going to suffer. Forest is the one which gave the human beings a free survival. By taking away from it, now they made you into a customer. They repurposed you as a customer. Why you don't get it? This is the condition of the Congo. Now Congo has resource. It is the richest country. So they are stealing away all their resources and in return they are just paying back $1, $1, $2. You do. But when it comes to your country, what will you do? Because your country might not have the resource as Congo, but your country can be used to establish these production sectors, right? To dump the toxic waste. Because in Europe, if you dump the waste, Europe government charges you huge amount of fine. If you dump the toxic industrial waste without reading them, you are charged with huge amount of fine. But how many countries have established that kind of restriction? Ask yourself. That is what you should ask yourself. Just because you're safe today doesn't mean you're not the next target. Actually, these companies have already crawled inside many countries and they are already dumping their waste and they're polluting the resources of the people. They're polluting the water bills. They're polluting the dams. They're polluting the rivers. They're polluting the ocean. They are literally polluting the land, your crop production. They're destroying your mountains. In return, you're not even paying enough attention back to it because it is not visible to you yet. Because all these things are silently happening. Today, Congo. It happened in Congo and it is happening in the Congo. And what the Congolese people are paying is their reserves and their quality of life is absolutely taken away from their hand. They don't even have, even in order to say the quality of life, they don't even have anything to say quality of life. It is like they have everything, but they don't have anything. Because why? Corporates. Because it's China, internal culprits, Belgium, all these things are involved inside. So I want to end this video with a question. Is your country giving enough amount of protection from these corporate syndicates, from these corporates from dumping the waste in your resources, in your land? Is your country paying attention to it? Against these kind of dumping toxic waste in your resource, in your land, in your water reservoirs, does your country have strict law against it? Are they charging fine? Is your country ensuring your quality of life and supporting self-reliancy? Is your country protecting your safety from these corporate giants? So leave your answer in the comment section. Democracy is what protects you from the concentrated political system, corporate syndicates, and it is what encourages the self-reliancy life. So leave your answers in the comment section. Have a healthy conversation. Okay? Don't go for, fight inside the comment section. Because unity is what? The tool against all these things. So I will see you in the next video. Until then, it's Ayuverity signing off.